Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jon Gray, and this is another episode of Insight into Things That You Need to Know. And today, I'm very, very happy. I've been waiting for this ever since I made contact with this lovely lady to have Dr. Catherine Stevens on the show, our new director of schools here in Tullahoma. And I'm just very, very pleased to be here. And Dr. Stevens, welcome to Insight, and welcome to Tullahoma.
Thank you. And I have to tell you something really quickly. My name looks like Catherine, but it is pronounced Katrine. Katrine.
I am so very sorry that I should have known that.
Okay. Oh, no, that's okay. It looks exactly like Catherine, and in most instances, that's exactly how you would pronounce it. I have a French mother, an American father.
Good for you.
I was born overseas. My dad was in the Army, and he stayed there for a while and met my mom. And when the children came, we each had a name that had an English context or American context and a French connection. So Katrine.
Katrine. See, and one of the reasons I have Dr. Stevens on today is because since she's been in town, things have been so hectic with the virus and all that, she really hasn't had time to be introduced to the public. We haven't had a normal reception like we would have for someone in your position. First, before we get into all of that, you started by telling us about your name. Give us a little bit more information about you and your family, and
absolutely,
just let us inside just a little bit.
Oh, I would love to, and you'll probably have to dial me back because I can talk about my family.
That's okay.
So obviously, I was born overseas. I was born in Sweden, lived there for several years, then moved to the States. I did go to public education in the United States. I started in Pennsylvania in kindergarten, and then by my junior year of high school, we moved to Northern Virginia, Fairfax County Schools, and I graduated from high school there. Went on to college in Virginia. I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie.
All right.
Hokie, hi. And from there, had my first job in Virginia Beach because I wanted the bumper sticker, "I teach at the beach." That was very important to me. That is where I met my husband. We met.
And that's very important.
He was in the Navy, actually, at the time. And he and I met, and unbelievably, short of 4 months after meeting, we were married, and we have been married over 30 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We have two beautiful grown daughters. They both went through school in Rutherford County. One daughter graduated as a valedictorian, and one daughter graduated as the valedictorian of socialization. Although the school system didn't recognize that, we did honor her effort.
There wasn't a specific thing to put on your other side.
No. That was just in our home. They're wonderful, wonderful young ladies. Our oldest, Kelsey, she has her doctorate in pharmacy. She's currently doing her residency at a hospital in Middle Tennessee. So she's doing wonderfully and is married. Her husband is terrific. We're so happy to have Joseph in our family, and he works hard at Nissan and is just a great addition.
Okay.
Our younger daughter, Madison, she is married to Will, another fantastic guy that we love having with our family, and they have two incredibly beautiful children. So I am a Mimi. I have a 3-year-old Bradford and a 1-year-old Charlotte, and they are the apple of Pa and Mimi's eyes.
All right.
Yes.
Very good, Dr. Stevens. Hey, what we're going to do right now, though, folks, is take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back, and we'll get into a few things involving our beloved Tullahoma City school system.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
The highest standard of excellence requires dedication and commitment. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of excellence in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and proud to have Dr. Stevens, the director of Tullahoma City School System, with us today. And I guess the first thing I want to do is I want to say something. I watched you, we do the school board, we play the school board meetings, and I have watched you and how you've conducted yourself in those meetings. And that's one of the reasons I was excited to meet you, because you are so open in the way that you conduct yourself and inviting and smile a lot. And obviously, by listening to you talk, you're a very bright lady. And it's just nice to see somebody with hands open instead of people tucked tight, you know.
Yes.
And that's very important to me. Body language is important to me. So thank you for that.
Yes.
And now, give us a little bit about what's going on in the school system. What you see is, I sort of call where we are, we had to read Brave New World when we were in school, Huxley's Brave New World. We're here, we're there right now, we're there. And how do you see things playing out in your mind of what we're going to do and how this is going to happen and how we move forward?
Right. So it's a great question. It's a hard question, to be totally honest. Not having a crystal ball, not knowing how this might play out. So I'm going to tell you what my hopes and beliefs are in terms of how we might progress. First of all, I'm so thankful that our children and our faculty got to be together July 29th because I know last spring throughout this system, systems across our state and country, school just stopped. It just stopped and everybody went away and went home, and it was a very stressful time for everyone. And continues to be a time of uncertainty, a time of anxiety. And that's challenging for every person, whether that's a child, a parent, a faculty member, a community member, as we navigate these uncharted waters. So we opened with people coming back to school. Actually, about 81% of our students returned physically to the buildings. We had about 19% of our students opt for distance learning. That is an adventure. It's a whole new world. In the spring, there was dabbling in that type of environment, whereas this year it has been more focused, more planned, more clear how it works in terms of a schedule and expectations and feedback and so forth. So currently today, as we sit here, we are transitioning to a different model, a hybrid model, and that's based on the active case count of COVID within the county. And as you know, the three systems really partnered together and reviewed some options on how we might decide when we navigate to another level. So we are transitioning to hybrid, which means for our upper grade students, grades 6 through 12, they will by and large be distance learning students. Teachers will be teaching all day like they always do. It will look and feel different because it will be from afar. So their classroom will look different, but they are going to continue with the same high level of expectation of student engagement, the same high level of energy and planning that goes into those lessons. So we are going to keep the process as normal as we can in an unusual situation. Now, there will be students who are vulnerable students. Those may be students with disabilities, students who have other significant needs who will be in buildings, even in those grade levels throughout the days. And that's based upon team decisions for those individual students. For the elementary settings, there will be a first day of the week, Monday, that grades 3 through 5 students will appear, and they will have a touch point. They will have time with their teachers to navigate the day and to somewhat prepare for what does the rest of the week look like when we transition to distance learning.
Right.
Our pre-K through second grade students will come physically to the building 4 days a week. Monday will be a distance learning day for them. And we have prioritized that age because, as you know, those years are critical in the forming of how to read, for example. Let's take literacy, all the foundational skills that have to happen so that you can be a strong reader. When you break that mold or break that grade and head into, say, third grade, typically you change from learning to read to reading to learn. And so we want to make sure that foundation continues. Right. So they're getting 4 days of school time. With that said, we still have vulnerable students in all of those grades, and some of those students may be in the buildings 5 days a week. Again, that is determined by a team based on very specific needs of those students. The hope is, with this hybrid plan, that this growing case count, if you will, that we can maybe have a positive impact on that. It can slow down and it can decrease to the point that we can return back to the buildings and get back to what we consider to be somewhat familiar in terms of how we engage with school each day.
Well, you know, I can remember when one of the changes when I left high school and went to college, and I went to the University of Tennessee, and some of the classrooms were huge, and we were in the classroom, but there was no teacher there.
Yeah.
The teacher might be in Guatemala if it was an economics guy doing some work for the Guatemalan government, sending video in to us in the classroom with a monitor.
Right.
Now the teacher's in the classroom teaching to an empty classroom, and I saw one of the young people the other day. We were somewhere having dinner, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? How you like this?" "Well, we're at home." I said, "So that means it's pretty easy. You can knock it out pretty quick." And they said, "No, we're having to spend time to time." Just like we were in the classroom, we have to be accountable in front of our laptop from class period, start of class period to end of class period. So it's not like having a list of things to do and some of them knock it out in 5 minutes and go swimming.
Right.
You've got to be there in front of your teacher. And I was glad to hear that because I had not heard of it being done quite that way before. So it's a very good idea because there's still structure.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So there is still a 6.5-hour day. We still have 180 days of school. It's just that it looks different because we're not all physically together in some instances at some grade levels. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so teachers are still planning appropriately, executing those lessons at a high level, having expectations for students in terms of their engagement, their work, the quality of their work. They're still providing feedback, grading, those kinds of things.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is take another quick commercial break, and I have a couple of questions that we'll work through after that.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
It's not Invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, folks, we're back, and I'm with Dr. Stevens, our new Director of Education, and I guess that's the right terminology. What's the right terminology?
Director of Schools.
Director of Schools, Tullahoma City Schools, and we're talking about the brave new world, as Huxley would say, that we find ourselves in right now. And one of the questions that we discussed a little bit before the show is Tullahoma is a unique town because of Arnold Center and UTSI, and we have a lot of things that small towns don't have. We have those type of people demand their children be educated properly. They demand their children have the arts, like the Fine Arts Center we have in South Jackson Civic Science Center. You just don't find these things in regular small towns. Our city budget, a lot of the money goes to pay for the school system here because we have one of the better school systems in the state, which is a very, very good selling point for our community. A lot of people come here to go to school here.
That's true.
How, without taking tests and in this brave new world, how will we keep those numbers or be able to define what we have here in this new deal? Are we going to be able to still have a sellable thing? How do we sell it? What can we sell?
Right. That's a great question. And before I even go there, I have to say to you, one of the reasons I applied to be Director of Schools was because of the incredible reputation that Tullahoma City Schools has throughout the state of Tennessee. And spending time in Tullahoma, seeing and feeling the community support around the school system, it's really impressive. And you probably know this, but it's the only district in which I applied to be Director of Schools. So I was very selective in where I wanted to consider connecting myself and investing deeply in the community. It is a really impressive place. Things that are impressive about it: it's a very well-rounded system in terms of a focus on academics, a focus on arts, a focus on the whole child, looking at social emotional elements, supports, athletics. It has just a comprehensive opportunity for students to excel in areas where they have that natural affinity and talent and gift. There are places for them.
And we have our band.
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, I watched several performances. When I say I researched Tullahoma, I watched almost a year's worth of board meeting, every single one that was filmed. I watched the band perform. I watched every social media feed, everything on the website, any link that I could see that someone had put together. So we have competitive teams that are getting nationally recognized.
Oh, yes.
So when you think about how do you continue a school system in this time where things are adjusting, well, our high school students are still taking ACT. They're still looking toward that college entrance and succeeding in that way. So if you're thinking about tests, we need to remember there are elements out there that still give us great feedback during this time.
Right.
And those are important pieces because your entire K-12 journey is really preparing you for those outcomes. And our role is to ensure that everyone is college or career ready by the time that they go. Our CTE programming here is first rate. First rate, that is a selling point. It has so many arms of success and arms where students can find who they are and have that skill and talent and take it to the next level and be ready to just step out and move into the workforce right here in Tullahoma and give back to their own community. Our fine arts is amazing, just as you noted. It's amazing. It's amazing all the way through. So these are all selling points, and it's our job as educators and as an organization to continue to be cutting edge. Certainly this time of challenge related to the school setting and this virus and how we navigate it is indeed a difficult process, but in this we are gaining new tips and tricks to add to our tool belt that is going to make us better in the end. So I see the outcome of this as being a stronger unit.
Springboard.
Correct.
Springboard.
Correct.
You know, I have to give a prop up here because I'm a veteran, and I don't know how many school systems have this, but we are very good in finding new things to do for people who don't have something to do. Colonel Jeffrey Johnson and the Marine Corps in the high school is one of the, to me, is one of the best things that's happened. New things that, of course, it's not new now, but it gives a whole new group of young people who aren't maybe athletes or band people or art people or something, have found a home there, and that program is absolutely incredible, and I want to give a prop up to Colonel Johnson for that.
And talk about building leaders.
Right.
Building young people who are really ready to, if they choose to make a commitment in that area, you as a veteran, me as a daughter of a veteran, wife of a veteran, know that that commitment is powerful and strong. But what they're gaining from physical wellness, from mental wellness, and how they give and serve is top notch.
And of course, being in, I also worked construction in my life, and I know everybody does not need to go to college.
It's true.
And we need to have ways to teach skills to our young people. Hey, I don't want my son to get his hands dirty. We'll follow the plumber home and see what kind of truck he gets in and what kind of house he's living in.
Right.
You know?
Right, yes.
There's good money there.
Yes.
And those are jobs that need to be done. Our society cannot exist without our hands-on people.
Yes.
And they, again, that's a very technical skill these days. It's not just a shovel and a hammer.
That's very
There's
true.
a whole lot of stuff goes on in building and constructing and plumbing and electricity and HVAC and that stuff. And we need, and a lot of these companies want to move into a place with a mechatronics program where they have students that are ready to walk in and run and fix this robot.
Right.
That's the new world.
That's
and we're doing that.
That's right. When you talk about our career and technology programming, it really is amazing what the students are doing right now in high school.
Right.
Amazing. And that's why it's critical, these business and school partnerships, to really get those solid and grounded and keep building on those, because we want our students to have a pipeline to the next step, whatever that next step is for them post-high school.
There you go. We're doing it. Well, I tell you what, I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you chose us. After spending some time with you. I do recognize the fact that you're the one that did the choosing, not us.
No.
It was obvious. It was obvious, and we were very fortunate to see you come into this position.
Thank you.
And I look forward to watching you with that smile and those bright eyes work your magic. Because I know there's some magic there. I can see it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And the openness that you have and the approachability that you have. Because we all need to remember, we're just people.
That's right.
All trying to get through this deal together with the best result for everyone involved that we can.
Yeah, I deeply care about what I do. My heart is with service and with making a profound positive difference in the lives of those I serve, which are children, parents, staff members, and I'm very committed to it. And so I appreciate you recognizing my heart.
I see it.
And my spirit in this work. I feel very called to it, and I have. This is my 32nd year in, and I'm not slowing down.
You're not stopping, are you? Okay, well, what we'll do is take a quick commercial break and be back and close up.
When When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back with Katrine.
You got it.
Stevens.
Right.
Begin before Katrine with a D.R. period. Dr. Katrine Stevens, our Director of Tullahoma City Schools.
Yes.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Mm-hmm. It's a pleasure to have finally gotten to meet you and our audience to meet you as well, yes, and know that you are welcome here.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to make a statement, you're pushing something, or any of your teachers, your principals, we've had them parade through here for 28 years. And it's always a pleasure to help our school system. Yeah. and if there's anything that here's your window to the world right here. If there's anything you would like to say to your students or the people of this community about our direction and where we're going in the short term, there it is. If not, you can just continue to look at me, because it doesn't bother me looking at you.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's just nice to sit down and chat for a few minutes in the busyness of each day, and to have someone be interested in hearing some of my thoughts around some topics. So thank you for that, and thank you for the welcome.
You're welcome.
And what I'd like to say is the welcome that I've received from individuals that I've met has been extremely kind and touching. This community is a community of people who really love and support teaching and learning and the Tullahoma City Schools. And it's my honor, to be honest, to be with each of you in this important work. I know we're in challenging times. I recognize that, and I recognize the difficulty that all of us are experiencing. I know that you agree with me that health and safety is important, and teaching and learning is as well. And together we're going to work on all of those things. Here's to a better tomorrow.
Katrine, thank you very much, dear.
Thank you.
It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And you will be welcome anytime you come through the door.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, folks, thank you for letting us come into your living room and visit with you, and know that we'll continue to bring you insight on things you need to know. See you next time.